cats and kittens.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Hello, cute cats and kittens. Welcome back to another great show. Woo! I'm Anderson.
I'm Sloan. This is the Underlings podcast.
Episode whatever.
I think 5. Maybe. Depends on when we're uploading this, but we need to fix our thumbnails. No, not make a thumbnail. We need to fix our thumbnails because all of them say 1 currently except for the last one.
All right. So what do you want to do today?
Verb. What? Okay, I need to fix this. I'm sorry. Because my head. So I've got 2 ideas for today. I'm not sure how long they're going to go. So we're going to start with one. And then if we're done with it, we'll go to the other.
Okay.
So my first thing I want to talk about is a situation about a TikToker. Now, you don't know anything about this. Her name is Reesa Teesa, I guess.
Reesa Teesa.
On TikTok. Here's her for reference. And she made this 50-part series called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? She did 50 parts of this, and I watched all 50 parts twice.
And what was your outcome on that?
So I'm going to
marry?
relate the whole thing to you in Cliff Note version.
Okay, all right. So you're not gonna play me the videos. You're just gonna.
No, we would be here it's
Okay.
500 minutes, and I watched it on 1.5 to 2x speed, but it takes forever. So it would be we cannot sit here and react to the whole thing. And if you watch one, you're gonna want to watch them all because she's a phenomenal storyteller. She will draw you in like nobody's business. And I sat and I watched the whole thing. I went to work, came back and kept watching. Woke up the next morning, kept watching. And then yesterday, on a Saturday, I saw someone that I like on the internet, on the YouTubes, reacting to it, the full thing on stream. So I watched the entire stream of them reacting to it. So I've seen it twice. I'm probably going to still forget stuff, but I'm going to give the Cliff Notes. So during COVID, she met this guy. And I don't know no one knows what his real name is. I think people have exposed it by now, but she did not say his real name. She called him Legion. This was one of his nicknames in real life that she had called him on multiple occasions. But someone told me that it was a nickname she gave him after, because the irony of it is that Legion is in the Bible equates to many demons or something. And I'm not sure if she created that after or before. If she created it before, then that's hilarious that he named himself Many Demons when he is Many Demons.
Hey, I think the Underlings means something like, what does it mean? It means the underlings of evil or something.
Yeah.
So I guess we're a part of that too. We're right there next to
in the
Legion.
Bible. It's called a group of demons is a legion.
Look up Underlings.
A unanimous shriek of condemnation.
Jesus.
And the rude mockery of the underlings. Blank. That's the part of it in the Bible. I don't know if that's anything. Anyway, so it was, and then another thing that ties in is that he was a very religious person in the story. Okay. So is she, but he would quote the Bible all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if he nicknamed himself that, he knew what he was doing. If she gave it to him, she's just really clever.
The mark of the beast.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm confused. You're saying...
The double standards?
Oh, you're saying that he's calling himself something that he's actively against?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, anyways. So, Sloan, cut that part out.
I will.
Let's continue.
Okay. So, this whole series, so she calls him Legion, so I'm going to refer to him as that. I don't know his real name. I think it's been exposed because he made a video since this 50-part series was exposed. So did one of his ex-wives and a lot of other people. Okay,
so
let's start from the beginning.
That's very telling.
Okay, make sure you're not cutting out of the frame either.
Am I?
I don't know. I feel like
I'm always on the edge of the frame.
I know. So maybe get a little moved right here in the corner. Make the corner really cozy. Okay. So the story starts in March of 2020. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
She met him before COVID happened. Not long though. Not long enough before. This whole story starts. She meets him on an app. The weird part is he was on 2 different dating apps under 2 different names. She said they were nicknames. So if his name was Matthew, he was on Matthew's one and then Matt on the other. So kind of the same name but kind of different names. And he used to think that was funny. She didn't think that much of it, which I was a bit like, that's kind of weird. Anyway, so they met on a dating app. They had like these long conversation in the car, and then, or not in the car, I don't know where, on the phone. And then she's like, let's meet and like go on a date. So they went to like her restaurant, and on the way there, her tire blows out. She said this was the first sign that she shouldn't have been with him. But he ends up going with her to get her tire fixed, pays for it to get fixed, changed it to the spare tire, all this stuff.
W.
Right. And she's like, oh, that's hot. Like, that's cool. So
yes, he pays my bills.
He's like 6'3", and he claims he's not a manager. What is it? He ends up claiming he was the VP of a company, but before that he was something else. I can't remember, like a manager or something.
A manager of the local Chick-fil-A or something.
And so he claims he's got like a lot of money. He used to play arena football. Now,
okay.
I didn't know what that was. She said she didn't know what that was. She didn't think to Google it, because I would have been like, okay, what's the salary on something like that? $18 an hour.
Arena football. All right.
But she thought he was making bank, because arena football, he's professional football.
Okay.
I don't know what this means. Anyway, so he claims he played football in college, all this stuff. And I'm saying claims because it will come out that all this was a lie.
Okay. So, all right. So he claims he's like the CEO of a company.
No, not yet. He's like close, but not there yet.
Okay. But that wasn't the arena football.
No, different. He played arena football, quit to work for Apple.
Okay.
And then now he's working at, well, we know now as Heinz, but it was a condiment company in Georgia.
Okay.
That's what she called it, because she didn't want to say the name.
Okay. But why would she? So when she first met him, he was playing arena football. So why was that like a consideration?
No, it was like, what did you used to do as your job? Whatever.
Yeah,
what's your current job? It was, I used to play arena football. Now I'm working at Heinz.
Yeah, but why would that like mean that he lied about the money? Or lied about, like, why would that be like, well, how can he be making bank playing arena football? He might not have, but now he does doing something else.
Oh, no, because he said he made a bunch of, later on he'll say he made a bunch of money on football.
That's what I was missing.
Yeah. No, that'll come out later. Okay. I can't go as detailed as she is, because this is a long story. Anyway.
Okay.
So, like, 2 weeks before COVID hit, they started talking. They went on their first, like, 2 weeks before COVID. Then they're like, we're going in lockdown. And now she was, like, older. I don't know how old she is. I think she's, like, 30. And he was around the same age, maybe a little older. And they both, on the date, were like, we're looking for marriage. We're looking to finally settle down in our life. We're at that point where we want to get married.
How old is she?
I think in her 30s. 30 or something.
Okay.
So at the age where you want to settle down and have kids. So they're both under the mindset of, like, I'm not fucking around. I'm not just having a little, I'm looking for marriage.
Okay. Like, this is serious.
Right. So they hit it off, and they're both like, we want to get married eventually.
Yes.
Like, that was our end goal. So let's see how it works. So then they're like, okay, COVID's happening. Why don't we quarantine together and see how this thing goes?
That's what everyone decided to do during quarantine.
Right. Quarantine was a whole other thing.
I missed that.
Right?
But anyways, let's get back to the story.
So they're like, let's move in together. But he claims that he just moved from California to Georgia and did not have a permanent house he wanted to live in. He was just living in a studio apartment, didn't want to stay there, but he claimed he'd only been there for a few months.
Okay.
So she was, I think, renting a house, if not like a condo or something with multiple bedrooms. So it was like, okay, we'll move into my place. And then he goes, I want to buy a house soon.
Okay.
That was the idea. They move in together. Everything's fine. Then they started doing with this house fiasco.
Oh, no.
It is multiple times. I want to say like 5 times. It was, let's buy this house for $700,000. It's beautiful, because back then that was a lot of money in those parts of Georgia. Now it'd probably be millions. Yes. But it was like 5-bedroom houses, beautiful. And he's like, I want to put like a cash offer.
Okay.
And that's where the whole arena football, it was, how the fuck could you pay a $700,000 house in cash? And it was, you don't know how much money I've got. I really invested well. I saved well when I was in arena football.
Who the fuck did I just marry?
Yeah.
Type beat. All right.
What?
Okay.
That's what she was thinking?
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just going to cut.
That's what she
Who
was
the
thinking.
fuck did I just marry? Black screen.
I'm so confused.
Next chapter.
I'm going to keep going. I'll probably get it in editing. I always like hear these. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then in editing, I'm like,
okay.
Oh, I get the joke. Anyway. So he's like, don't worry about, like, I got a lot of money. I want to do this. And then it was, something happened. They're knocking the house. Okay, that's fine. Another one. And they're working with multiple realtors. One he claims was his friend.
Okay.
That person ended up not being real.
Okay.
Then they go with a real realtor. Got, like, this is like house number 4. get another house. We love this house. We're in talking to these people who own the house, and it was okay. We love your offer. You're giving us asking price, full cash. Let's see proof of funds so we can close this. And it was, you're not going to see proof of funds unless you say yes to my offer. And they're like, well, why do we say yes to your offer if we can't see you have the money in your account? We just need to know that you're able to put in the cash offer. That's all we want to know. And he was fighting. The realtor reached out to Reesa, and they were like, this is crazy. Just give us your bank account, like, screenshot, and we will be fine. So the client went with some other person that was buying the house that had a lower offer because of the situation. And the realting company dropped them because they're like, this is weird.
Okay.
Unless you're ready to do that, we're not working with you anymore.
Let's move on. Yes.
So this happens multiple times. Let's get this house. No, boom, something happened. Well, then it was, let's get a car. I'm going to buy you a BMW. She wanted to get like a Kia, whatever. And he's like, no, I want my wife to have. Oh, I forgot to say. Before the BMW, it was she got pregnant.
Okay.
So they're both religious. They were both like really scared because they got pregnant. Premarital, everything. They're just living together.
In Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
And in an area she didn't want to live in either. The reason why they wanted to buy a house was to move to a really nice area. So she's like freaking out. She's pregnant. Like not doing well. She had like kind of a higher risk pregnancy. So she was like so stressed, so worried about it. And all this house stuff was happening during the pregnancy. Because she's like, I'm not having this baby here. We need to be in a house if we're having this baby. So all this stuff happens. She ends up miscarrying.
Oh shit.
And she had to go in, like the miscarry didn't work well, like the medication didn't go, so she needed to have a DNC. Uh-huh. So she goes to the hospital to get the DNC, and he's like, he couldn't take her there because he had some important business meeting. Because I think at this point he was saying he was the VP.
Yes.
That he had to be there for the VP. So he had an assistant reaching out to her. Well, he ended up not being able to pick her up for like 3 hours after this procedure because he was in a meeting for the VP of this company. And all the while, some guy, I forgot his name, was like Daniel or something, was the assistant was reaching out to her. He's also not real. We'll come to find out. He never existed either. So he was texting her under the name of someone else, being like, oh,
Daniel
Legion
can't make it right now.
No, Legion can't come.
Is his name Daniel?
No. Daniel, I said, was the fake assistant. Okay. I don't remember his actual name.
Legion can't come right now.
Legion can't come right now. He's stuck in a meeting.
Legion can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because he's dead.
Yeah, so it was ridiculous, but she thought it was real. It was like heartbreaking, whatever. Then he like told her family not to talk to her, and it was like this weird time. And then she ends up being like, that was a good thing that we didn't have this baby. It was not the right time. She took it as a sign from God, whatever. Then he's like, okay, I want to buy you a car. Proof of funds. Wah, wah, no car. And then he's like, actually, the car is being delivered. Can you stay home from work today? She's like, sure, I'll work from home. Boom, car did not get delivered. All this stuff is happening. So they went through like 6 houses, multiple car opportunities. He claims that he had a company car, BMW, that he had from the car, but he wouldn't bring it home. He'd bring it to some other place. And it was like all really sketchy. So then he keeps saying like these family members are dying of COVID.
Oh,
he said his grandfather died of COVID. He said his uncle died of COVID. And then he said, okay, so when they first met, she knew that he had been married once. She said, he told her, I was just married in California. I broke up like 2 years ago, whatever. But she had kids from a previous marriage that I grew close with when I was married, and I'm still in contact with those kids. So that was part of this, that I'm such a good guy. I help them do homework. I'm having conversations with them. He said he had 4 brothers, 2 biological brothers, 1 older, 1 younger, and then, or maybe he was 3, 1 older and 2 younger, but 2 from a separate marriage of his parents. And then he said he had 2 sisters. I think it was 4 brothers and 2 sisters. And
so a total of question mark?
Well, if there's him and 4 brothers.
Okay, 3 brothers.
So that'd be 6.
Or 4 brothers.
Wait, no. 4 brothers, him, which is 5, then 2 sisters, which is 7. But some of them are from different marriages, was the idea.
Okay.
He's talking to the phone every single day with his family. She's talked to them before. She met one of his brothers once. She was going to go to, like, one of the sisters' houses, but then he kept, like, they would be like, oh, we can't go today. And then, oh, let's drive there. And then, oh, sorry, my sister had this emergency. We can't come over. All this weird stuff was happening. But
I'm really trying not to. I'm, like, really trying not. What if I do this?
Fine.
Let's just keep going with this.
Okay. So back to the thing where about the step sibling or step
True
children.
napping hour.
The stepchildren. He was still allegedly in contact with them, would be on the phone with them. They said they want to meet her and like because they're, you know, been together a long time, all this stuff. And so then he says, so his grandfather died of COVID, his uncle died of COVID. Then he said the stepdaughter died of COVID, the wife's kid.
Oh shit.
So she's like feeling bad. Like during COVID, you didn't know what was going on, and we're like, people are dying, all this. Like you think it's really scary. Mm-hmm. So she's like, oh my God, like all these people are dying. Like I feel so bad, and he's like sending money to these people, and she just felt so bad for him. I'm trying to think. I want to like skip some stuff, but I want to like get the details. So then where were we? I'm trying to think. So all this stuff is happening.
Stepdaughter died.
Yeah, he says that she died. He's talking to all these people on the phone all the time about his siblings. He's really close with his aunt. She's really close with her aunt, but then she's not telling her family anything. She's not telling them about like all this weird stuff is going on. Because then, what was the first? Okay, so she knew he was lying about the houses. She was like, this is the proof of funds stuff is weird. She knew about one of the houses that the fake realtor, she realized that they weren't actually putting an offer in because then she was checking like realtor.com and it was like for sale, not for sale.
Yeah.
Then like purchase. She's like, okay, we didn't buy it, so what the fuck? So she kind of realized that one was a lie, but she let him get himself out of it, which everyone's like, why? Like, why would you not call him out right then and there? But she didn't. So she didn't know why he was lying, but she didn't really call him out on it. So she kind of like knew some of these things were lies, like him not showing up when she got the DNC was like obviously really big red flag. And okay, so he's also paying all the like apartment bills. He's paying rent, but it was only, this is crazy. She claims that her rent for a multiple bedroom, I think apartment or condo, was only $450. I don't know if that was a mistake that she said, or if reality Atlanta really had prices like that back in 2020.
No way. Maybe rent controlled.
No, because she wasn't in like low income housing.
Yeah, that's the issue. What job does she have? You know?
She was working. She wasn't a police officer, but she was working with the police like force.
Was she a government employee?
I think so.
Because that you can get rent controlled as a government employee.
Maybe, but she didn't say it was rent controlled. I don't know, but she claimed that maybe that was like a time. Okay. Maybe it was like $1,400. I don't know. Anyway, so he's paying the bills. She's paying her own car and like stuff like that, but he's paying the other bills. So that was another reason she kind of let him keep lying, because she's like, he's got some faults, but he's overall fine, and like, it's nice that he's paying for all my shit.
Yeah.
So he wasn't just freeloading off of her house. He was paying.
Can I make a guesstimation real quick?
Yeah.
I think he was like deferring payments and like just racking up debt.
No, as far as we're aware, that did not happen.
So he actually paid for it.
Yes, but she claims it was only $450 a month.
It's quite a bit to pay for someone who you don't know.
But he's also living there. Yeah, they were living together.
That's a go-to deal.
Right. So $450 for a nice apartment.
I would do that as well.
Yes. So anyway, so yeah, he played arena football. He went to California something university, and he was a football player there. All this stuff happened. So I'm trying to remember the time frame, but all this stuff is happening. They ended up getting married in a courthouse because it was COVID. They didn't have a real wedding. They just kind of did it after the baby was born, or after the baby passed away, all this stuff. So they get married, and he put in a social security number. Well, she clearly had enough red flags. She was making these like audio diaries, like she would record herself talking. Instead of ranting to her family, she was like ranting on these diaries about like what's going on, like how it's so annoying we haven't got all these houses. I'm like depressed. I had lost a baby, whatever. But she wasn't telling anyone about it, but she was keeping track of this very accurate. That's why she could tell the story. Like, she could tell you dates. She tells you time. She tells you everything about what's happening. So, at this point, they just got married, and she sees him put a social. Well, she remembers the social. I don't know. She must have an eidetic memory, because she remembers this whole story from 2020 flawlessly. So, I think she has a really good memory. People think it's sus, but there's a little bit sus. There's too many details. So anyway, and that's been corroborated by other people.
It could be true, but it also could be a one-sided story, perhaps.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But when we get to it, there's enough sources where you're like, this person's terrified.
Ulterior motives in the moment, possibly.
Well, she did. So she was thinking
that's
something
why
was
she
sus.
knows everything so well.
She wrote down the social. She put it in a background check. Nothing came up. Oh, he doesn't have any record.
On the person that you just married, you put down a
Yes.
background
And she
check?
goes, yes, I did look up his social after we got married. I realized how ridiculous that sounds.
But like the moment after.
Yeah, like a few days later. So nothing comes up.
I'm gonna make a little PSA real quick.
Oh, she's made PSAs
If
too.
you believe that your significant other is someone who has been lying and manipulating you, and someone who is dangerous in any capacity,
Or has a record that you don't know of.
yes, and you decide to get married to that individual, Jesus cannot help you. If you know this beforehand, if you're looking this up, it's different if it's like out all in the open and he's convincing you of something else. Okay, sure. But the fact that you're
Yeah.
like sneaking behind his back the day after
I feel like I'm
that
missing
you
stuff.
get married, that's crazy. Because that's like being, I don't know. I feel like there's some ulterior motives going on. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
It's opinion based off of absolutely nothing because I don't know the story. But
I feel like I might be missing stuff because before they got married, there was like a lot of bad stuff. Like the houses were like a really big point of contention in their relationship. So she's at the nail salon one day. She gets all these spam texts. Come home. Someone just came looking for you, whatever. She goes home. She's like, what the hell happened? He's like, some guy came to my house or came to the house and is looking for you. Like, who is this guy? I know it's your ex. Like, blah, blah, blah. Shit. And she's like, what? Like, my ex? Like, I haven't dated someone in a long time and, like, I don't know who you're talking about. She's like, describe him. He's like a normal guy, normal hair, normal height, like, no specific. She's like, oh, this is not helping me. She's trying to narrow it down. Turns out she, like, I don't know who this could be. Like, she thinks it's one of her exes that she described him and she thinks that's who he was talking about. But she's like, there's no way he came to his house. Like, why the fuck was he here? So she's, like, mad. Well, she had, like, a security system in her house that it tells you how long the door is open for or when it was open and when it was closed. Yeah. So she checks the time in the door when he said this happened because he claims he went out there. They were yapping at each other, screaming, whatever. There was only a 1 minute time between doors. So that means he was only out of the house in that time frame for only 1 minute. So she's like, that's kind of weird. If you're out there screaming at him, having a scene, watching him drive away all the way, it only took a minute. So then she reaches out to her neighbor who has a Ring doorbell. And the Ring doorbell catched their driveway. Nope, no car came. He just made that shit up for no fucking reason about some guy coming to the house. Didn't happen.
Bro's trying to make your life more interesting.
Yeah, and then he was trying to create a side plot as well of the neighbor being obsessed with him and like them fighting when it has never happened either. Like she's like, you're being crazy. So he claims he's the VP of operations. He'll be at work every single day from like 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. whatever. Every day he's gone, and every day he will call her and he'll be walking around yelling at people in the office, like all this stuff. So now we get to this one part where he said, have I ever showed you my grandparents' gravestone? And she's like, no, like what? And she's like, yeah, my grandpa died during COVID, like my grandma died before, like they have a gravestone. He takes her to the gravestone, like, and shows her like all emotional, whatever. So that was another thing. And then one day he takes her downtown Atlanta and they're just driving on the highway. He did not take her downtown. They were driving on the highway and she goes, Legion, take me to your office. It was a Saturday. And he's like, what do you mean take me to my office? She's like, I want to see it. I've never seen your office. Like, you work downtown. Like, I've never got to see it. Like, take me. If you're the VP, you can get in.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, I got my key card. Like, let me call the Willie. His name's Willie, the security guard, like head security. And he's on the phone talking to Willie. And he's like, and she does not hear him on the phone, which I'm confused about because if you're sitting next to someone in the car,
yeah, you can hear.
How would you not hear it ringing, hearing if it's answered? You can usually hear, unless you have like an earpiece, maybe.
Even then, you can still hear like.
Right. So I don't know the situation, but she claims she couldn't hear anyone on the other end. But he's like, oh hey Willie, like we're trying to go see the apartment or see the office. Are you there? Oh no, you're not there. Is anyone there? No one's there. Oh man, okay, whatever. So they're like staying outside the building at this point, and then she thought it was weird because head of security, there's no one there on the weekend, and he's a VP operations. He can't just get in there with no key card, scan in. Like you think you probably a VP probably could get in. So she's like, that's kind of weird. And then he goes, yeah, and that building there, behind that other building, that's where I keep my car. My business car. And the business, he said that he had access to the business helicopter. Now, I don't know anything about Heinz, but I don't think they have a business helicopter. Just...
Hey, you have
He
no
claims he had
idea what
access to
Heinz is capable of,
He
okay?
had access to the business
Don't
helicopter.
throw shade.
So his BMW's in there. Oh, we can't see that either, but I promise you it's there. So, I guess we'll just skip on down to when stuff starts to hit the fan. So one day she just opens his phone and is scrolling through his phone, and she sees it's his old work phone. She's looking through his old work phone and she finds text between him and someone named Peaches.
Like the emoji Peaches?
No, like the name Peaches.
Like Georgia Peaches.
Yeah, Georgia Peaches.
And Georgia Peaches, okay.
He was getting his peaches down in Georgia.
Okay.
And this
He's from California?
prostitute who only charges $40 for a hand job.
Okay.
And $80 for a blow job. And he
How
was
much for the full...
paying for the services.
How much for the full service?
I don't think he ever got the full service.
Okay.
So, yeah, he goes and gets his services with Peaches.
So that was like a part of his like work benefits.
Yeah. So
Heinz is really good company, we're finding out.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Heinz,
provide great service for their employees.
Except you're not going to want to hear what Heinz has to say about it. Anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah, Peaches from Georgia is giving him the peach treatment.
Yeah.
So, she finds out about this. She's mad, obviously. They end up going to marital counseling because this is not enough.
That's divorce court, babe.
The
no offense.
Infidelity mixed with the lying.
If I ever was with a woman and she got a prostitute, nah, man. Nah, fam. That's raps. That is full-blown raps.
Yeah, and also lying to you about everything and you're kind of aware
Nah,
of
man.
it.
Just the prostitute shit. Like...
Yeah. Well, I'm saying on top, cheating. It wasn't just that either.
Like, it's not just cheating.
You get diseases.
Yeah, you're opening up our relationship to a world,
and there's
some
speculation about some stuff that goes on later that there could have been something. So anyway, they go to marital counseling at a church with the pastor and his wife. I think it was actually over Zoom. And the pastor and the wife
makes it even better.
The pastor and the wife are like, you need to really work on yourself, Legion, because at this point you're not showing proof of funds. Where are the proof of funds?
So more proof of funds.
More proof of funds.
All right.
You're not showing the proof of funds. You're sleeping around. You're not acting like a Christian man. She's doing everything she needs to be doing. You are not. Where are you? Who are you, Legion? And they're like, you guys need to open your bank accounts to each other. Show each other right now. Well, he shows her one account, a Chase bank account that has $9,000 in it. Not $700,000 down put money. Then he shows a...
Hey, $9K, don't sleep on bro. It's
not nothing, but it's not 700,000 something. It's not the arena football money.
Yeah.
So, actually, that probably is arena football money.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So,
that's an $18
then
an hour
he shows
money.
her another account. And so then I forgot to give you this really funny detail. He claims he's got 4 accounts.
Mm-hmm.
The Chase bank account, another savings account, maybe it's just 3, another savings account, and then an offshore account.
We got the offshore account? Jesus.
While I'm editing our last podcast, we're talking about offshore accounts, and I'm like, ooh, Tati's offshore account? Maybe she's got the same one as Legion.
Yeah, maybe she's going through that Swiss bank account type shit.
So he has the offshore bank account. That's where all the money is. And she's like, Legion, I've seen your 10 grand. I've seen your other stuff. Like, it was like 15,000 and 9,000. So like, I've seen your money. Why won't you show me the offshore? And all he said was, well, my uncle told me money changes people. I can't let you see that money. Money changes people. You don't need to see how much money don't worry, it's there. She's like, money changes people. How much money you got there? He won't show her the account. So they're like, okay, no proof of funds.
Damn, bro, Heinz paying him that $10 million a year type shit.
So at this point, he got no proof of funds. He's got infidelity up the wazoo. It wasn't even just Peaches. It was multiple people for like dick pics and shit. And like really kinky stuff apparently that she didn't know he was even into. So all this is hitting the fan. And then at some point after this, the wife pulled her aside during the therapy. I think it was online, so I guess maybe everyone else left. And she goes, I don't think you guys are going to make it through the year. And this is January. They got married in January. And she's like, I don't think. And then the pastor said, if you had come to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you never to get married. This is a bad thing that's happening. So shit hits the fan one day when she's applying for a new job at a really nice job. I'm assuming something government-based because she has to give background check of her and anyone who she's married or living with.
Okay.
So she puts down his information. And now she goes, this is a different social security number than I remember back in the first background check day.
Bro got 2 socials? Holy shit, I want 2 socials. How do you get 2 socials?
So she is like, okay, whatever. So she applies to this job. And he's like, this is a dumb idea. You shouldn't get this
Jeff,
job.
Look into getting 2 socials.
No, you don't need 2 socials. This is not real. You can't do that legally.
Jeff is not the law.
Well, don't expose yourself on YouTube.
Okay. I can request whatever I want. Yo, Jeff, get the baggie.
No baggies.
Get the baggie, Jeff. Go to Jamal's house, get the baggie.
Okay, so anyway, moving on. She's like, that's like kind of weird. It's kind of weird that you have another social. Like, I don't think this is the same one. So when that happens, how did it go? I'm misremembering. I think what happened was at this point, she gets the results from that background check, I think. Or she just remembered that social and put it into another. They? Turns out he had multiple felonies of pretending to be an officer, all this stuff.
W. He
had what do you need at? Okay, bye.
We don't judge.
Okay. No. Okay.
What were the results?
So it turns out it said that he was married to not one other woman but 2 other women. So she knew about the one wife, but she did not know about this other wife. So she was like, who is this? And I forgot their name. It was a name I had never heard of before. And that other wife, I can't remember their name. I'm going to have to look this up. Came out on TikTok. Which is why I want to remember. Why am I on the Kia website? I want to see, where are the wives listed?
Yo, Jeff.
My ears hurt. Oh my god, I need to show you this TikTok of this bitch who's like filming and they have these headphones
Why
in.
don't you just wear headphones?
But they have disappeared into her ears. You can't see this at all. It's all like flush with her head. And I was like, how are they in that far?
Wait, no.
And she just said, I'm hard of hearing.
How do they get in so deep? They physically can't. The stem is as far as it can get.
No. So the background check comes back and it says that this is the real one, not the fake social. The real social says that he's had felonies for trespassing, for impersonating an officer. He was like going into people's apartments, being like, "Get on the ground," like arresting people.
Like for fun as a hobby, or was it like pretending. For like monetary gain?
No, he was not making money off of any of this. He was spending money on her.
So what you're telling me is, he is a dedicated civil servant.
Yeah. Who... Oh, I forgot to mention that when they were trying to buy those houses, the first house that they were like going to put a down payment on, they went, because he claims that they had the house at one point, one of the houses, before something happened. And he bought furniture and appliances. Like $1,000 worth of appliances.
W.
And like
W.
He didn't need them.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Bro buys the furniture and appliances before the house.
Right.
What a GOAT. What a legend.
So anyway.
What a legend.
What a legion.
Oh, his name's Legion. Fuck. That didn't work.
Okay. Oh, I hate the noise of this thing. So, anyway, it is now time for revealing stuff. It turns out he had never lived in California.
Never
lived in California. The only states he lived in was like Rhode Island, whatever, and Georgia. None of the places he said.
I've never lived in California either.
Neither have I, but I didn't tell people I played football there. I went to college there.
He played arena football there.
In California.
Legion.
And he played college football there, apparently. And he went to college there. He did not do any of those
things. GOAT.
Okay,
GOAT
so that also said he had 2 wives. And it listed one of the wives' names and phone numbers. So she ends up calling this lady and goes, "Hi."
Can I make it guesstimate for the second time?
Yes.
She said, "Stay away." No. How did he find another victim?
Yeah, so basically
Stay away.
that's a given. So she
Okay.
calls this lady. Thank God it was still her number. Anderson, please try so hard with that, Mike. Okay, we gotta keep going.
Riding round in a rover. If I see ups and it's over, I'll send them straight to Jehovah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy.
So
He's wearing the weird British gloves.
she calls the ex-wife, and she's like, "Hey, this is Legion's new wife. I want to ask you some questions."
Shoddy the baddest.
And she goes, "If you're calling me, this must be really bad." In the synopsis, she goes, "Nothing he says is true. I guarantee you nothing that
Lies.
he said is true."
Lies.
He said, "Okay, did you guys ever live in California together?" "No, I've never lived in California together. Never lived in California with him. He never lived there. He never played arena football." "No, he never played arena football." What about this? "No, it's not real. No, it's not real. No, it's not real." And then
Is he the CEO?
before she hung up,
Is he the CEO?
before she hung up, she goes, "How's your daughter?" Because remember he said that her daughter died. She goes, "My daughter's perfectly fine. Why?" She's like, "Oh, never mind. Just he said she had COVID. I wanted to make sure she was fine." So he lied to her about a child dying.
W.
So then,
Pure W's across the board.
okay, turns out one of the people he was pretending was his sister was not. And he said he had two sisters. Neither of them are real. So at this point, I don't remember. I think it was Legion's aunt that called the wife after. She goes, "Oh, I'm skipping. Sorry." So before the aunt calls her, she confronts him and goes, "You never went to California, did you?" And she had also confronted him about this prior, but I didn't tell you, so I'll just tell you now. He claims the reason he's not in any records is because
he's an FBI agent.
Very close.
Secret security service.
He is a private citizen, and his dad, when he got put in college, paid to have him under the radar as a private citizen to where he does not show up on records. And then she hits him with that does not apply to
that's not real.
NAA whatever requirements if you're part of football, whatever. And he's like, "Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
NCAA is the college athlete, whatever." Please, as I can't split, I have to cut all this out.
Abuse of Grimaceman.
I don't understand why you do this. We don't know that.
What do you mean we? Are you a system?
Yes, I'm saying both of us.
Are you a system? Okay.
Okay, so yeah, the NCAA
CP?
is like a division of college athletes or something. So she like looked up the rules and found out you can't be a private citizen if you are doing this. So
private citizen, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
is that even a thing?
I don't think it's real. I think he just made
it sounds very
all
not
of
real.
this is made up. So yeah,
okay,
that's made up. So she's like, "What the fuck?" She does more searching. She finds out the screenshots of his bank account
were fake
from the internet.
Faked having $9,000.
Yes. The cars were obviously fake. The one that he had in the workplace was not real. That was also an image from the internet. His old house pictures were not real. His old car pictures were not real. Then he gets a call from his aunt. The aunt is saying, Legion's here because, I'm skipping again to when they broke up. So she's like, "Girl, I know you're lying. The NCAA requirement says you can't be a private citizen. That's not real." "Well, I live in California." "No, you didn't. No, you didn't live in California. And I know you had another wife that you didn't tell me about. And I know you've been cheating on me. And I know this. And I know this is not real. I know you don't have any fucking money. I know you don't work at the place you work at. And then like, I know all this stuff." And then he's like, what the fuck?
Wait, he didn't have an Indeed account?
No.
So, like, why would you believe him?
I don't know. Everyone's saying that. We're not dogpiling here. We just think it's interesting.
Okay.
So anyway, then he calls his aunt, and she's on the phone with her mom. And no, before the mom, he's on the phone with his aunt. Get in a little closer. Not like that. Just so we can see your face. Okay. So
Well, now you look really fucking tiny.
he's on the phone with his aunt, and she's like, he's like, "I don't know what she's talking about. She's crazy. I've never lied to her in my life." Well, that was a straw that broke the camel's back because she's known he's been lying all this time.
Who? The grandma?
No, the Reesa. She hears him talking to the aunt, and he tells the aunt, "I never lied to her in my life." And so for Reesa, she was like, "That's when I flipped. Because I know you've been lying about everything." So she started screaming, Oh, I skipped more steps. Okay, sorry. This is a really key component. This is so funny.
No.
So, a few weeks before all this happened, right before she turned into this agent, right after the cheating thing, he starts having mysterious leg pain. Can't walk, stopped going to work, is laying in bed in agony all day long. No one knows what's going on. I don't think she even knows still to this day. People are saying he got the HIV from the prostitute.
Shit.
Who knows? But his leg was like crumbling.
Thank God. Maybe that's why he stopped having sex with her.
Maybe. Hopefully she got spared.
Hopefully he's that W of a man.
So his legs like not functioning. He's like dying in the bed. And so she becomes. Okay, now I have to cut that out.
No, you don't. You just cut out the audio because it covered my mouth.
Okay. So, he's like bedridden. And as she's confronting him in his room, she's like, get out of my house. And you're lying about all this stuff. And so he like hasn't been able to walk. He's like, oh, my leg. She's like, get out. Go. You're not allowed to here anymore. You're a fucking liar.
Did she get the broom?
So then she's been like giving him.
She's sweeping him out.
Been giving him
like
a
dog.
She's been giving him Gatorade all this time because he's like dying. He won't eat. He's lost like 500. He
definitely got AIDS.
He used to be a triple XL in size. I mean, he's 6'4", right? He used to be a big guy.
He used to be a little chunky.
Probably, but also strong, whatever.
Yeah.
Now he's apparently down to like an XL. Just in this like few weeks of being sick. That's how much weight he lost. He was like shrunk.
He got bone disease.
Yes. So he hasn't, but he won't eat.
That sounded awful.
All he's gonna do,
he got HIV.
All he's doing is drinking Gatorade. Well, she starts looking around this mess. He just threw the Gatorade because this is the guest room. He's like messing up the guest room as like his like hospice room. So he's like throwing she's like, you messed up my room, and she looks at the bottles and realizes after he was drinking,
he peed in them.
He was peeing in the bottles and leaving them on the ground.
And they had blood in them.
No.
Oh.
And she was like, I know you haven't been pissing in bottles in my room. Screaming at him, and he's like, I'll pick them up. She's like, get out. She's looking for weapons at this point. She's on the phone with her mom, and she's like, I'm gonna lose it on this fucker.
She's seeing red.
Like, it just all hit at this moment. And so he's like, I'm not leaving. It's my house too. And his aunt on the phone is saying, get out of there. She's dangerous. Get out of there.
This sounds amazing. I want to watch this.
So she gets him out of there. He takes only a little bit of stuff. He also like collected like WWE belts or like UFC belts.
And none of this was a red flag.
He was collecting these watches, which they're called Invicta watches. I never heard of them. Apparently they're like the fake bougie. They're like bougie, but like not really. Let's look them up. Invicta.
So like
watch.
Ghetto rich?
I think like the Michael Kors type shit.
Yeah. Like
Let's
fake
see.
Rolex?
Yeah, like wanna be rich. Like literally $20, $40, $50. Final liquidation sale. They're not doing well after this.
Wait.
This is like the Shein.
Collected Dollar Tree gumball machine watches.
Maybe rock bottom prices.
He collected gumball machine watch. What was the original price?
Like 200. So maybe they used to be that, and now they're this. From
we
this
should start picking these bad boys up.
He was collecting these Invicta watches, whatever. So he left all of this. No, we can't see you. Can you sit up? No, put the book down.
The
Come
Grinch.
on, Grinch. He's collecting all this shit. He left it all. He just brought like some clothes and like only a few things with him when he like ran away. So at this point, she changes all the locks.
Wait, so he took the Invicta watches on his way out. Like that's one thing he grabbed.
No, he didn't. He left them, and I think they're fake. Which I don't know how you can have a fake Invicta watch. The fake of the fake. I don't know.
It's not even a fake. It's just like they have a, what is it? In
Liquidation
all caps.
Sale?
Explosion sale. Final liquidation. Like
rock bottom prices is crazy. He was at the rock bottom price. Anyway, so I thought it turned off for some reason. Okay, so he leaves and she gets locks changed, whatever. She is trying to like, he's saying he's coming back. It's like all this bullshit. So she gets a call from his aunt, and the aunt is saying, hey, Legion's with us in wherever.
May he please have his Invicta watches back?
No. And she says, we want to know, did you kick him out? we know he's a liar. And he's saying he got kicked out. We just want to know what happened. And she's like, yeah, I kicked him out. He's a fucking liar. And then she goes, well, were you really cheating on him and had an officer point a gun at him until he left? And she's like, no, I never cheated on him. I never did anything like that. I never pulled a gun on him. All I did was bitch him out until he left. Because she also, her favorite part of this story was that she said, if you don't get out of this bed and walk, I'm going to beat you like the bitch that you are.
Damn.
So she scared him out of there, it's safe to say. And
so his HIV ass just like wheeled his
hobbled
way
out with his one bag of clothes. So she's like, the aunt calls and was like, oh, we wanted to like see if he actually got kicked out, whatever. We feel bad for him, but we don't want him here for that long.
Okay.
So then she ends up getting multiple calls. She's in contact with was it his cousin or someone? And she was like, oh, like, maybe he can't save his brother. Like, I know they're so close. And she goes, what brother? Like, what? Or she's like, his brother. They haven't talked in years. And she's like, yeah, he's close with all of his brothers. She goes, all of his brothers? How many do you think he has? She's like, I think he has 4. 2 from your dad and 2 from the other marriage. And then the cousin's like, or 2 from his dad and 2 from the other marriage. He's like, no, that's not at all what happened. His, oh, he also said his parents died. I think they actually did. But not when they said he died. So
no COVID.
Okay, I'm getting all jumbled again. So I think it was his aunt or someone was the one relaying this information and was like, yeah, he has 2 brothers. One's his twin. And I thought he had an older brother. Older by 20 minutes. And she's like, what? And what about his sisters? He does not have sisters. She's like, what? But the one who lives in Charlotte, who's a nurse and is married to whatever. And she's like, huh? No, none of that's true. He has no sisters. He has 2 brothers. His dad never got remarried, never had step siblings. None of that's true. And his dad's not a police officer.
Was his mom a teacher?
I don't remember that part. I think maybe. So then he gets in contact with the twin brother. The twin brother had the life he always wanted. He has the bouge house. He has the bouge job. He's got the company car, the company phone, the company helicopter. Probably not the helicopter, but the life that he's envisioning is his brother's life. And his brother goes, I know he lies. I wish I didn't have to be associated with him. He's the evil twin.
That was his social security number?
Oh,
that was the first one?
I never thought about that. They're saying that it's not the first one that he got married with was not his actual. No, because it would have showed previous marriage. It would say that he's actually married because he's currently married. I think it would show up.
But at the time, maybe he had one previous marriage.
Maybe, but I think it was a fake social, which should annul the marriage, but apparently it doesn't. So
apparently it would.
Everyone's saying that, but then she told him they're like, no,
okay,
you have to go through the process
wrong.
still.
I think she's wrong.
Maybe they didn't have all the details back then. Anyway, so
I think she's probably lying about that.
We're already at almost an hour. I need to wrap this up. Okay, so she talks to all these people. It turns out sisters aren't real. The brothers aren't real. He has a twin brother, and that's it. I think maybe a younger brother. He doesn't talk to any of them. None of them have had contact with him for years. He never lived in California. His grandparents died in like 2015, not 2020. Obviously, the daughter of the ex-wife never died. She starts contacting friends. He has no friends. All the people he claimed were his friends have not spoken to him in years, hate him. That whole time that he was talking to his brother on the phone, no, there was no one on the other end. Mans was like this. Hey, brother. Oh, my God. Like, oh, Reesa says hi. Oh, he says hi back. No one. For hours every morning when he's getting ready, he's on the phone with someone that is not there. He had no friends to talk to. No.
No, cap.
No, dead ass.
No, because when you take your phone away from your ear, it shows that you're on a call, and you put it back. There's no possibility you can keep that lie going.
He never said.
No, I'm saying that even just in passing, you can tell if someone's lying about being on the phone or not. It's so easy.
She did not catch on.
No, she would have. There's no possible
She said she never heard them on speaker. She never heard them on the other line. She never heard the ringing of the phone.
He must have had some type of... He must have something that he called like a fake number or something, because I can promise you it is a guarantee that you can tell.
I don't think so.
You can tell. If I was on a phone call,
I would not tell because I'd be like, I can't hear the other person.
Or just like as soon as I take my phone, your phone glitches sometimes. and it like turns on the screen for a second.
I know.
It's so easy to
He
tell.
might have had an apathy. There was no one was talking back. Is the whole point.
Either way, there's
He's
no
having
way.
full on 4-hour conversations with himself.
Okay. Well, from her perspective, allegedly,
she reached out. Well, it definitely wasn't a brother.
It could have been someone else.
And all the people on his face, none of them talked to him. She couldn't find a single friend that talked to him. Turns out that whole time he was a VP, he was a forklift driver, a temp forklift driver.
At the company?
Maybe at Heinz.
So he was just having delusion He's like, you, boss,
yes.
fuck you.
No, and then the whole time he'd be walking around being like, get back to work, whatever. He was on the phone with her pretending to be a VP. She said she would hear him walking around the floor talking to coworkers. He wasn't at work half the time. He only had a job for part of the time she knew him. Part-time, he was completely jobless, pretending to go to work. The cars weren't real. He ends up living in his car at this point. She's like, you need to come get your stuff. He won't come get his stuff, whatever. He's living inside his car because then she finds him down somewhere in Georgia, drives to him to get the document signed for the divorce. And he's like, fuck this, I don't want divorce, whatever. She's like, you've been living in a car. He's like, no, I haven't. And she's like, yeah, you have. And she gives him $5. Go buy yourself some chicken nuggets. That's what she told him. He had not eaten in a week. And then he had nowhere to go. He was sleeping in his car. He had no friends, no family, because no one would talk to him. They all kicked him out. So he's like down bad. She's like, you have to come get your stuff. Doesn't come get his stuff. Leaves it. Doesn't want it back. Well, then he goes, I'm coming back to live with you. She's like, no, the fuck you're not. But apparently in the state of Georgia, if you're married to someone, you can't legally kick them out if they co-own whatever. So she's like in contact with the police. And she's like, this man can't come. He cannot come. And they're like, he can though. He will, and we can't tell him to leave. She's like, we can have an officer there to like for safety. She's like, yes. Well, then they run a check on his name, and he has a warrant out for his arrest.
And she's like, let's go.
So she's like, fine, come here, come to the house. So they arrest him in the driveway. He had he had no money in his wallet. None of his cards were activated, whatever. They end up finding out his car had not been paid on in months. So the dealership is like, if you don't make a payment, we're taking the car back. So she calls the dealership and goes, I know where your car is, while he's being arrested. They take his car. And that's basically the end of Legion.
So she made an enemy for life at this point.
Yeah, but he'll probably move on to wife number 4.
He's in jail, has immense amount of debt now.
He's probably going to end up homeless, actually. Which is kind of sad. That part made me kind of sad, but I'm like, at the same time, he's crazy. Yeah. But like, then it's like, okay, what the fuck is the point? He did not make money on this. Mm-hmm. What was the scam? Just to make her...
Delusion.
Yeah, it must be. He had something in his mind.
He probably was just ashamed of who he was.
That's kind of the end of that. They got divorced. He ended up being arrested. I don't know what he's doing now. His family, I think the son of the ex-wife spoke out. And then the ex-wife spoke out. What different ex-wife spoke out?
We do have to acknowledge that he did make a response video.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned that a little bit. Yeah, he claims that she cheated on him, in the same story that she told in the series that he said to his family.
Yeah, basically that they cheated and that they tried to make it work, but then it fell through.
Yeah. So overall, it was a crazy story.
At this point, I'm not going to take a side. Just because, I mean, obviously, just from the story that she told, it's crazy. And so if that's true, obviously, I'm not going to stand with someone who's like a pathological liar. And also, there's nothing out there about him. So
if it's true, it's awful.
Yes. But if she's lying about it, then because it just seems like a story. You know what I mean?
Maybe. It's crazy outrageous that it's hard to believe.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, but from my initial reaction, it just seems like it's a story.
Right.
And I don't know how true. I assume it's probably somewhere in between, which means he's probably definitely at fault, but then there's probably stuff that she left out that maybe she did or whatever. That's how these things always are. So, yeah. Okay,
well, anyway, so I believe I watched the series multiple times.
Yeah.
And she sounds very genuine. Her receipts are very genuine. Mm-hmm. The video diaries she has not put out, but I think she could if she wanted to exonerate herself. I believe it. Most of the criticism I've seen against her is like she's making money off of it. She's doing it for clout. I don't think she realized how big of attention it would get. Yeah. every part got over 1 million views. That's insane on TikTok for like 50-part series to get consistent views.
And she could do a lot more than that if she wanted to.
Right.
If she wanted to go on.
I think she might be selling T-shirts, but
if she wanted to make YouTube videos or
so then also BMW
like
reached out and were like, "We'll give you that car or something." So like I think they're arranging to.
That's risky for them. That's really risky.
And then
in a situation like this, where it's like kind of internet drama, that's surprising that they would do that.
Yeah, I think it's more for the meme than anything, but
yeah,
they're doing that, and then I've seen like just a bunch of people.
I wouldn't take any of this too seriously because it's right. TikTok.
But it was very entertaining. She had the world in a chokehold for that time period, and it's interesting. You don't see like stuff like that on TikTok. No. People get addicted like that, so it was really cool.
And 10-minute long TikToks. Wow. The world is changing.
That's what someone said.
Holding people's attention span one day at a time.
TikTok ruined our attention span. Maybe they're just not giving us good enough content on other platforms because she kept our attention for 500 minutes.
But 10 minutes? If that's the definition of long attention.
No, but I'm saying
there's
500 minutes. It was 10-minute parts.
Yeah.
Most people watched it all as it was going.
Yeah.
So they didn't watch it for 10 minutes.
That's like 4 episodes of a normal TV show.
500?
Or
no, Anderson.
That's like probably like 7 episodes of a normal TV show because a normal TV show is 45 minutes. So
that's over 8 hours of content, which is not normal. That's a good attention span if you're watching something for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but did you watch it in one sitting?
I didn't because I had to go to work and then I had to sleep
anyone?
And then I woke up. A lot of people did. They started in the morning and then they finished it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that with TV shows, but wow.
It's a lot. But once you get hooked, it's hard to stop watching. I was dreaming about that shit, waking up, press and play.
Always press the next episode, like when you're binge watching. That's the best thing. That's heaven right there. I don't know if
I haven't been watching a hot minute.
But watching TV shows and then just getting that itch of being like, I want to watch the next episode. It's like 4:30 in the morning. You have school at 8 p.m. or at 8 a.m. and you're like, fuck it. I don't care about sleep. Sleep is for the week. Next episode. You sleep when you die, but you don't get to watch Netflix when you die. So next episode.
Okay, well that was that. It was so funny to me. I've watched the whole thing. It was entertaining to say the least. We love you, Reesa Teesa. If you want to give an exclusive interview, we'd be lucky to have you. And
we won't do softball questions either. If you want to really have a exoneration of any amount of doubt people have, we will put you through the ringer. We will get to the truth.
Or if you want to sit on this couch for 8 hours and tell us a story about someone else in your life,
you could as well.
Here's your seat, babe. Here's your seat.
Yeah.
We will be welcome to have you.
We have a cat who may or may not be abusing us.
No, she's perfect. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Underlings. We've never done anything like this before. Let us know if you want us to deep dive into other TikTok series. There is a new woman who's trying to do her own Who the Fuck Did I Marry of her own abusive situation.
2.0.
I forgot her name. I'm going to try and find it because I have it saved because I want to try and watch that one. I don't know what that's going to be like. Here we go. It's called The Lies He Told.
What's the name on the account?
Jillian. If you want us to watch the entire series and react to that, we will. Leave us some hate comments. Leave us some likes, some dislikes.
Only dislikes, only hate comments. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Every Sunday, babes. Except for this week was Monday, but...
No lies. Time zone. Sunday somewhere.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Always Sunday somewhere.
Bye. Bye. Bye.